The Avon Tyres Caterham Roadsport Championship makes its way to Snetterton in the southeast of England, with 5 different drivers having won in the first 6 races this year. That means that the points are wide open. Lars Hoffmann has a 10-point advantage over Stuart Bell and Angelos Alvarnos, but there are still 5 or 6 drivers legitimately in contention. Well, the cars are gridded up now then for our first race of the weekend, with Angelos Alvarnos looking for his first victory of the year on pole position. The red lights go on, they go out now, and we are away and racing here at the high-speed Snetterton 300 circuit in Norfolk. And is it a good start from the pole sitter? It's fairly evenly matched on the run to the first corner. The blue car with the white stripe on the left is Alvarnos. On the right, the Gulf livery car of Will Rossetti is in danger of losing second position, as a packed grid of 36 identical Caterham Roadsports cars descends upon Rich's corner. Sadly, 36 will not come out the other side because there was one car on the grass, and there's contact, and round goes Stuart Bell, former winner in the championship. He was assaulted there by Lars Hoffmann, also a winner earlier on this year, and unfortunately the pair of them in strife. There are more cars that have gone around as well, but that was remarkably the top 2 in the championship coming together, Lars Hoffmann and Stuart Bell, and unfortunately they both left themselves with lots of work to do. So at the head of the field then, it is Alvarnos that leads the way. I thought for a moment that Rossetti might have been able to take advantage of that, but he's dropped down to 4th position. There's been a real jumble in the order therefore at the top of the timesheets, and there will be several walking wounded, I think, after the early collision down at the Wilson hairpin. Oh, another car off there. That looks like Gary Lapidus that's rotated from the midfield. Yes, it is. The number 17 car rejoins right at the back of the field now, but thankfully without any evident damage. Now, this is on board with Lars Hoffmann up the inside of everybody, couldn't get the car stopped, and unfortunately it was the completely innocent Stuart Bell there who ended up getting stranded in the midfield and actually loses a lot more ground than Hoffmann did. Hoffmann is still there in the leading group, but unfortunately Stuart Bell, his nearest championship rival, is not. Side by side for the race lead though, as Alvarnos now does have Will Rossetti challenging him around the outside line, and it will be 3 abreast into the Wilson hairpin. There's more banging of wheels. Surely this can't end well. Up the inside of everyone is going Andy Lees in the other Gulf livery car, helpfully, and he almost gets the race lead, but the tight line on the way in is slow on the exit of the corner, and so it's Rossetti that comes out on top. Look at this though, it's like the start of the race all over again as they're 3 abreast into Palmer's, and Will Rossetti is loving seeing this in his mirrors because he is starting to check out now. Once you break the toe around here, that is basically half of your work done. Then you just need to keep it clean, and you're highly unlikely to be caught by anybody else. There was a car off in the background, I noticed, but we'll focus for now on the fight for second place, which I think sees Angelos Alvarnos come out on top temporarily, but it may well have changed again. In fact, no, Alvarnos is a bit further down the order, so it really has shuffled around here at the front of the field. Number 42 is Ben Buckley, and right behind him is Lars Hoffmann trying to recover from that contact that he had earlier on. One car out wide there, that's Andy Lees on the grass. Every time you gain positions in this group of cars, you then seem to instantly lose some. Andrew Murgatroyd joining in the fun as well now, and there is the number 74 machine, which started in 5th position, Alan Venters. He's running a bit further back now than where he started, but with the midfield being as closely bunched as they are, he should be able to make further progress. Right, deep breath everybody. Andy Lees appears to be out of the race. Now I fear that might be mechanical rather than an off. We saw him on the grass, but maybe he pulled off rather than went off, so to speak. So that's a shame for Andy. He's out of the race. Into the final corner comes Andrew Murgatroyd. Sideways through the final corner goes Andrew Murgatroyd. And he's got a big gaggle of cars right behind him, including there the number 37 of Tom Brown. At the head of the field, Rossetti is not really getting away here particularly rapidly. In second place, look, the blue and white number 5 car is Ben Lopez Appleton, double winner last time out of Alton Park is Ben. Not necessarily one of the early championship favourites, but if he can continue this run of race wins and podiums throughout the middle portion of the year, he could yet become a factor before we reach the end of the season. He's running second at the moment, Lars Hoffmann in 3rd, and then this is the battle for 4th place with Ben Buckley just about ahead of Andrew Murgatroyd. Side by side behind, Alvarnos there trying to go around the outside, so somewhere in all of the early shenanigans, Angelos Alvarnos lost a lot of ground because he was leading at the opening exchanges. Now finds himself well outside the top 5. Battle on for second place here then, as Lopez Appleton has Lars Hoffmann all over him. Hoffmann looking to the inside line, can't make it stick there though, unfortunately. I'm sure there will be discussions as well about that first lap contact for Lars, so wherever he finishes on the road in this race, I think we may have to call it a provisional result, because I'm sure the clerk, of course, will want to have a look at the contact at the hairpin on the opening lap. For the time being, though, Hoffman's car crucially seems to be running okay, despite the fact there was a fairly hefty whack that it took, and it's moving into second place now at the inside of the number 5 car of Ben Lopez-Appleton, who started, would you believe, 13th on the grid, picked his way through the early carnage, though, and... well, actually, I was about to say he may have just lost second place, but actually he hasn't. He hangs on to second position for the time being, despite the fact that Lars Hoffmann had the toe down the back straight. Lars has a better exit from Nelson, though, gets to the inside through the bomb hole, and no, still Appleton will not say die, and hangs on to the position once again. It's a very brave man who will hang tough on the outside through the bomb hole, and indeed this corner at Caterham. They're two of the fastest corners on the track, two of the most infamous corners in British motorsport. That long right-hander at Caterham in particular, very easy to get wrong. Battle for 4th place also works its way through that part of the circuit now. 95 is Tom Power, the orange machine, who's into 5th place now, chasing down Ben Buckley. There, number 74 works its way through once again. And that was Alan Venters, who still has not yet been able to reclaim a top 5 position. Second place, they're side by side again into Rich's corner. Now, these two had been catching the race leader. However, as soon as they've started really racing each other like this, they have started to lose ground, and so Will Rossetti is starting to pull away now from Lopez-Appleton in second position. Lars Hoffmann in third for the time being, but it's not for the want of trying. He is determined to get this place away, clearly feels that he's quicker, and he'll be seeing what we're seeing, that Rossetti is pulling away at the front. He'll want to go after Will. He won't want to spend the rest of the race stuck behind the number 5 machine. Right now, though, there is no way past that number 5 machine. Out of Palmer's again, looks to the inside line, but I'm pretty sure that Lopez-Appleton will have that one covered. Or does he? No, there is a gap this time, and it looks as though Lars Hoffmann is going to go through. No, because every time he ends up on the outside line through a corner, Ben Lopez-Appleton just keeps it pinned and uses the momentum from the outside line to come off the corner quicker and hang on to this second place. It's a unique way of defending a position here, but it's working well for Ben. And he, for the time being at least, is doing enough to keep Lars Hoffmann behind. Meanwhile, further back, Fraser Jones there might not be able to hang on to this particular position. He's flicked his indicator on as well in all of the excitement that he's had in the early stages of the race. It's on the outside line through Hamilton and will indeed lose the place, and we're 3 abreast now into Brundle and Nelson, and joining in the party here for this second place battle is Ben Buckley. So Ben Buckley, then the 3rd car in this shot, is 4th place overall in the race. He might be about to go 3rd on the inside of Hoffmann. No, can't do it through the bomb hole. They're all, though, really starting to stack up now behind the very defensive Ben Lopez-Appleton, allowing this man, Will Rossetti, to streak off into the distance, and he looks good now to take the race victory, what will be his 2nd race win of the year. Will Rossetti, who arrived here at Snetterton 5th place in the championship, is already weaving in celebration long before he sees the checkered flag, which does now wave a 2nd victory of the year for Will Rossetti. For 2nd place, though, it could be 3 abreast across the start-finish line. Who will get it? It is Ben Buckley. Ben Buckley comes from 4th to 2nd in the final corner, and that was a brilliant end to the race for him. Ben Lopez-Appleton will be 3rd, because we believe there may be a post-race penalty on the way for Lars Hoffmann after that contact at the start. Confirmation then of the result: Rossetti wins, Buckley 2nd and Appleton 3rd. There was indeed a penalty in the end for Lars Hoffmann, and that will do his championship hopes no good at all.
Yeah, it's my 40th birthday today. Car 29 for the 29th, so yeah, first few laps were quite eventful actually. A lot of scrapping, changed positions a few times. But then I knew once I got in the lead, I just had a few laps to nail it, try and pull a gap, and paid off, so I couldn't be more delighted.
Well done, mate. We've been battling for so hard for so long, and I've been up the grid and down the grid, and then we thought we were going to come together under the bridge, like 3 of us, we were side by side through Brundle and Nelson, but stuck with it, thinking, well, we'll hang on, and then I could see Ben and Lars were battling out for that position. I thought, you know what, I'll go for a cheeky one on the left, on the right hand side, and it worked. So, over the moon.
Yeah, not so good because I have damaged Stuart Bell's car. So yeah, I feel a bit bad for it.
Well, a winning start to the weekend for Will Rossetti, but 19th in race 2 means he stays 5th in the points. Stuart Bell hangs on to the points advantage after a race 2 win by just a solitary point. Well, after 2 great races at Snetterton, we now head to the legendary Spa in Belgium.